Hello everyone, welcome to Roadside Rumours. I'm Sanika.
And I'm Kawal, and today we're here with...
Tekla.
Hi, Tekla. So, do you want to start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm already working here in Hong Kong for almost a decade, and I came from the Philippines, and my job here is domestic worker. Yeah.
So, have you been a domestic helper for 10 years, or did you do something
Yeah,
else?
it's more than 10 years already. Yeah,
Okay.
because I worked before in Singapore, in Macau, and here in Hong Kong.
Oh, so Hong Kong, so only Hong Kong itself is 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So why did you choose to come to Hong Kong after Singapore and Macau?
Yeah, because the salary here is bigger if you compare it to Macau and in Singapore, and the place is nice, so that makes me love Hong Kong.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, all of your family is back in the Philippines?
Yeah, I'm alone here working in Hong Kong. My families are all there.
So, do you go back often to visit them?
Yeah, every year I go home, and sometimes my daughter come here to Hong Kong to stay with me. Yeah.
Okay. So you said you've been working in Hong Kong for 10 years. So is it with the same employer or have you worked for different
I
people?
have already worked for employers. Yeah. Before I worked for 2 Chinese and 2 Western. Yeah, and right now is Western families. Yeah.
So as a domestic helper in Hong Kong, do you think that the locals perceive you differently, or do you interact with the locals a lot?
Because I am always at the community in Hong Kong, so sometimes we interact with some employers and some people in Hong Kong, like people at NGOs like that. Yeah, so I have interaction with them. And some also, we are always going outside, right? We go to public places, we go to the shops, so that's the way of interaction with the locals here in Hong Kong.
So, what about, besides locals, what about other, say, other minority groups in Hong Kong, like other Filipinos or other Indians or Indonesians? Do you interact with them as well?
Yeah, I interact with them because we are at I'm a leader of the community, so I interact with Indonesian leaders and some other because I am also a Resolve Fellow from 2019, so I interacted with different minorities here in Hong Kong.
So, is there any specific NGOs that you work for or that you run? Is there any NGOs that you run?
Recently, I just it's not really an NGO, but it's an organization.
Okay.
Yeah, it is called Social Justice for Migrant Workers.
Okay.
So in here, like, it's a platform for domestic workers to seek help if we incur injustices
Yeah.
from our employers, because it's mainly for domestic workers. Yeah.
That's so interesting.
So you said you're a leader in the community. So how did you get into it? And because you came 10 years ago, so initially, did you see anything that encouraged you to get into this work?
Yeah, because I saw mainly domestic workers like suffering abuses like that, and then I came to see the different situations of different domestic workers. So that's what I am become like interested to find out why and how to help them. Yeah, to seek justice from those injustices they suffered. Yeah.
Were there any challenges that you faced? Because I imagine when you first came here, you probably didn't speak Cantonese, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really don't know how to speak Cantonese before, but by reading, and by interacting with other people who are good in Cantonese, so slowly, I learn a little bit. Yeah.
So you've had a very long journey. So can you tell us some memorable moments, or what's your favorite part of your job?
Yeah, of becoming a leader in the community. Yeah, because I able to connect with other people, and I able to help with my fellow domestic workers. So that makes me proud as a domestic helper, that even I'm just a domestic helper, I can able to help other people. I can touch their lives. Yeah.
It's really commendable that you've done all this work. What are some of the biggest changes that you've seen from your work?
The biggest is that my employer have a respect to me, because they know what I'm doing in the community. So that makes them respect me also. So it's a good help, because they don't treat me like just a mere worker like that. So they see me as a leader in the community. and as a worker as well. Yeah.
So, say, considering how long you've lived in Hong Kong, do you consider yourself a Hong Konger now, or how do you feel like your position in the society is right now?
I feel like people in Hong Kong, but I'm not really a Hong Konger, right? So because I love Hong Kong, so that makes me feel like I'm one of the people in Hong Kong too. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been in Hong Kong for a long time. You're definitely a Hong Konger.
We call it home already, you know. Yeah. All of us, like, we call it home, our second home. Yeah.
So, was it hard for you to adjust to like Hong Kong in the beginning, or moving out of home from the Philippines? Was it hard for you to adjust? You know, you had to travel, and then you have to suddenly move in with a different family, and then you have to take care of them. So, was it like hard for you, or were there any challenges that you faced?
It's a bit hard because, you know, there is an adjustment really, because different families, you know, different attitudes towards the worker, right? So it's up to us to adjust what they really want to do. So they want like this way, and the other families this way, so we need to follow what they want. Yeah.
So, for your job duties, was it mostly taking care of kids or elderly, or?
Yeah, I love kids. So every time I apply for a job, I always say that I'm looking for babies or children to look after. I don't apply for looking after dog or all this like that. I just love kids. Yeah.
So do you? Sorry, yeah.
So what's your favorite part about your job then?
You know, playing with the kids and teaching them, you know, that makes me feel that they are my child, because I left my child when she was still 11 months. So that makes me feel that, even though I roast different kids, but not my own kid, but still I'm happy because the way I'm looking after is, I'm perceiving that it's like I'm looking after my own child. Yeah.
So what are your main job duties when you're working? So do they include cooking and then cleaning?
Cleaning everything.
Okay.
Like,
So even cooking?
yeah, cooking, doing the ironing, cleaning the house. And
So are you-
but the most is looking after them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you good at cooking?
Yeah.
Wait,
Because
because
my first boss, you know, they sent me to a cooking class.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we went to Thailand, they let me go to a Thai cooking, and here in Hong Kong, like Western cooking. So,
Okay.
and then when I have a Chinese family, the popo teach me how to cook Chinese cooking.
Yeah.
So I have it good.
Do you sometimes miss cooking your own Filipino food, or do you still cook it sometimes for your employers?
Yeah, sometimes, you know, they like the way I cook our Filipino food. We like just like the pancit. Yeah,
I love
they
lumpia.
Love it. Yeah,
Lumpia.
the lumpia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love it.
Adobo.
Yeah, adobo. my wife like adobo, and even my boss, they like adobo too.
Yeah. So besides working in Hong Kong, I imagine you must need. So besides working in Hong Kong, you must need some time for yourself, or like, you know, doing some hobbies. And I remember the first time me and Sanika saw you was at this poetry speaking place. Like I think it was in Central, and we remember seeing you read out a poem. So could you tell us a little bit more about your hobbies?
Yeah, because if I do nothing, and then like sometimes I'm depressed like that, like, you know, problems comes anytime, right? Yeah. So that's the time like I can do writing, or even I am inspired, like I can write. Yeah.
So do you mostly write poetry, or do you write like that? Like what do you mostly write?
Yeah, it's about our life as domestic workers, you know, because here is what we are facing. So that's the one I'm writing, and about myself and about my child, like that. Yeah.
So what are some of the problems that you faced along your journey?
It's a lot of problems, but I can able to cope. Just like when I was terminated, you know, I was terminated with this not so good employer. So I cannot do anything. I need to find another employer and go back home to Philippines, because we have only 14 days, right, to find a job, and then you need to go back to wait for your visa. So yeah.
Oh, you only have 14 days?
So if you're
after termination of the contract, we have only 14 days to look visa, to look after to look for
a new
another
employer
job. Yeah. So if we find it, then we need to exit and wait our visa in the Philippines. Yeah, so
it's a bit complicated.
Another payment to the agency, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult if you are terminated here in Hong Kong.
What about the other laws in Hong Kong, though, protecting domestic helpers? Do you think that the laws do a good job in protecting your rights?
Yeah, I think it's good, just like the health system. Yeah, because here in Hong Kong, like you only pay for 100 if you go to the public hospital, and you can avail everything. So this makes us very lucky as domestic worker in Hong Kong, because our health, like they are all looking after. Yeah, but that's the only thing, like the 14 days visa and the live in. Live in, like it becomes vulnerable to domestic workers, those abusive employers. They let them work for how many hours? From 5 o'clock in the morning, they retire at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's very long hours. So if you are live-in, like that's the problem.
Sorry, can you explain a little bit more about, so live-in domestic helper is someone who stays with the employer?
Yeah.
And what's the other kind is someone who just goes to work and then they can go back home?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like
So
stay out. We call it live in and stay out. Living
stay out.
Yeah.
Okay. So for staying out, can they look for a place in Hong Kong, or where do
normally at the boarding house. Yeah.
Oh, so there is a boarding house
Yeah,
just for
the employers pay for it, but it's an internal arrangement. Yeah.
understandable.
Yeah.
So that is also, are there a lot of helpers that go for that? Do you
Yes,
think?
some they like living out, but for me, I prefer to live in, because you save some money, and then your time,
Traveling
you can save your
time.
time. Yeah, your traveling time. I have a room, have aircon, have TV, have internet. Why should I still find another room?
Yeah.
Right? So I prefer to stay in my boss house. Yeah.
What does your family back home think about your job? Do they want you to come back? Do they miss you? Or
Yeah, I think they miss me also, but they are happy with me right now, what I'm doing here in Hong Kong. They are happy because my employers are very good. They are very supportive. So my family can come here in Hong Kong anytime. So I can go home anytime if I like. So I am lucky enough working here in Hong Kong. Yeah. If compared to other workers,
Yeah.
some workers are really difficult. They don't have enough food. The room is, they just lying down on the floor, on the bunk bed, like the space is just like this. They cannot even sit down on their bed. So those predicaments of domestic workers are really
That situation is
sad.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
So today, just now before you came here, you told us you went to Jordan to deliver some food to a fellow domestic helper, right?
Yeah.
So was it like what was she in a really bad situation, or?
Yeah, because we have this group, right? We connect to people. So there are some domestic workers who need help, so they come to us and tell their problems, that the employers, when they come back, like they terminate them once they are quarantined. So no food for them. So I just post it in our group, in Facebook group. Then so many were volunteering to go and serve and give food. Like it's very heartwarming that many people, even though we are just domestic helpers, that the love and care for fellow domestic workers are there. Still on top.
I feel really good like hearing about this, and I feel me and Sanika were like so shocked that you went all the way to Jordan and then you had to come here. So we were really impressed by all the work that you guys do.
Yeah, because this is the way we can help our fellows.
Yeah.
and staying together and building the community. So do you guys do some events or some fun things together as a community to keep in touch?
Yeah. Presently, we have during our first anniversary, like
Sorry, how many years has it been?
First anniversary.
So it's only been 1 year.
Yes.
Oh, this year is the first anniversary.
Yes.
Okay.
Last May 30. So I open up poetry writing. It's about social justice. So we have 4 winners for the poetry writing, and then 1 for the essay writing. So we have 5 winners. Yeah.
So did you organize this?
Yeah, I organized
okay.
this. Yeah. So it's very heartwarming because so many were joining it. So that makes them important in the community, right? That we are not just mere domestic workers. We have roles here in Hong Kong. Yeah.
Do you want to take a break?
Do you want to take a short break?
Okay.
So maybe we can talk a little bit more about you living in Hong Kong. So as you know that luckily, you were placed in a very nice home with a good employer, but unfortunately there are some domestic helpers in Hong Kong that don't get the same treatment, and they get treated really poorly by their employers. So what are some of the cases, like, have you ever, because I've only heard of these cases on the newspaper, so have you ever come across people who have come up to you and told you their problems, like the situation of domestic abuse?
Sometimes their employer doesn't pay them, that they don't give them the right food like that, and the right place to stay, and then like they treat them so badly that they can even speak for them like bad words like that outside. Even they are in public, they're shouting at them, humiliating them. So that it's very sad, Yeah.
So do you think there's any ways that, is there anything we can do as young people, or is there anything that you have tried to do to bring a change to the situation?
I think we need to educate also the employers that they should not be treating their employers like their workers like this, because we are also humans, that what they eat, we also eat. We have the same. They breathe air, we also breathe air. So we should be treated on the right treatment, right? They give us food, the right food, and they should give us rest.
And right just treat rest, with respect, like the most important.
As human,
Yeah, and I feel like it's really hard especially because you have to travel, you have to leave home and then travel to like some different part of the world, and you have to live with this different family, and you have to adjust. So I feel like it's really important for us to like raise awareness, and like try our best to help. Yeah.
Because sometimes I also notice that, on Sundays when there's a lot of helpers that are on different public areas like parks and
the bridges.
Yeah, and people will just be so rude and mean and just like walk across and be like, oh, this is so annoying. But on a Sunday, that's like your fun time, your downtime, right?
Yeah. It's like all the stress for the whole week, like it's all gone when it's Sunday.
Yeah, yesterday I went on a picnic with my friend, and next to us there was like a group of domestic helpers, and they were also having a picnic, and they were like playing their music, and we were just like playing our music, and we were just like laughing, and they were just so nice, like, and they were I think they were eating like, they just cooked their own food, and they asked us like, oh, do you want to try it?
The food always looks so good.
Do you normally hang out with your friends on Sundays as well?
Yes, but because I'm very busy during Sundays, like I seldom go and eat with them already on the street, like because so many things to go with and to talk to people like this. Have some workshop and everything, organizing.
So will you invite them to your workshops?
Yeah, recently last December we organized a workshop.
Yeah,
it's about depression. And we called this lecturer at Hong Kong U, Dr. Brenda Alegre.
She's our professor.
She was the one who delivered the talk about depression.
She's so nice. She's super nice.
She is our advisor, in social justice.
She's sorry, what?
Advisor.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Do you think it helps when all these people from different communities also help and join together for the cause?
Yeah, because people will be motivated to join the cause also, If they see many people are helping, then they come in too, right?
Yeah.
It's like good in, like, how you call this one? They will be attracted, for what we are doing.
Yeah. Just now you mentioned about mental health, so I just want to know, like, how do I ask this? Like, for example, you guys have, so just now you mentioned that sometimes in your room you write poetry, or you use your hobbies as a way to cope with your mental health, right? So can you tell us a little bit more about, like, how is the mental health of the domestic helpers affected in Hong Kong?
Yeah, because if you are alone, then you will be more stressed or depressed, So you need to reach out with other friends. You need to talk to other friends about your problem. Then you can share it. Then your burden will become easier, Because if you share, but you need to share it to the people you only trust. You don't tell to everyone, because that's not good also, right? So we need to reach out. If we have problem, we need to speak up. If we face abuses, we need to speak up. We need to inform the people that we are suffering like this. We don't need to be silent. We need to be courageous to speak about it.
And what about the healthcare system? Do you think it's good enough for you guys to seek help if you need professional help for things like these?
I think I already experienced to stay in the hospital, you know,
Yeah.
here in during my past employers, because I have this operation in my leg. But because, you know, if it's not really emergency,
Yeah.
then you need to wait.
Oh yeah. In the
you
hospital.
need to wait, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
need to wait.
So long. You need to
Yeah,
wait.
it's very
Yeah.
long, and then I need MRI, and then the schedule they gave me is 2020, this November 2020, and that was already 3 years ago. So my boss said, we cannot wait until that time. So they asked me to go to the private hospital
Yeah.
to do the MRI, because I need to check again my leg before when I come back, because like it's a bit painful. So they asked me to go, and luckily like it's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, yeah.
So did you get the surgery done?
Yeah, I took it in the Philippines.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because here they said, your leg is, you can still walk. It didn't change the color.
Yeah.
So I said, what? Should I wait until it turns the color? Then it's becomes already.
Yeah.
I said, I need to be cured before it
Gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just go home to Philippines and done it there.
Do you go back to the Philippines quite often? Once a
Yeah,
year?
once a year. Yeah.
Once a year. So if all your family's back there?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you stay connected with them? Like, is it through FaceTime, or
Yeah.
do you call them every day?
Not really every day because I have my job.
Yeah.
Texting, and sometimes if they are free and I am free, then we have this video call.
Oh.
Yeah. It's very accessible now, you know.
Yeah, it's better now. How many
So many apps.
how many children do you have?
Only one.
One daughter?
She's 19. Yeah.
Oh,
She's
okay.
19 now. Yeah.
So over time, do you think it has become easier? Because obviously when you moved probably 10 years ago, it wasn't this easy.
Yes, it's very difficult before, because you can only communicate through letter, you know, and it's, if you call, like, it's very expensive, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Similar,
100
yeah.
is very fast, and now like you have only Wi-Fi, then you can talk how many hours, even the whole day.
Yeah.
So it's very accessible now. It's easier than before. Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here with us, and it was so nice hearing from you, like telling us from your own experiences. And I think, like, I'm so impressed with all the work that you do, and I would love to help you guys, like, if there's anything in the future that you need help with. But to wrap it up, is there anything you would like to say to the public or to young people in Hong Kong on how they can help you guys?
Maybe you help us to promote how to treat the domestic workers fairly. So through you can educate other locals here in Hong Kong
Yeah.
to treat nicely their domestic workers
Yeah.
like me. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
So we'll see you guys next time, and we'll be back with another episode very soon.
Bye.
Bye.